raised in the Lone Star Land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look at my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the blue bonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright.
Gummy shoe prints, laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy slough. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops always crack the whip.
Sebastian, sweet boy, where have you gone? The sun sets low, but we keep marching on. The wind whispers your name soft through the pines, a melody aching in these hearts of mine. Roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastian? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains. You deserve better, oh you deserve better. And your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang like bells through the air. Now silence just lingers, it's more than we can bear. We carry your memory, a flag in our hands. Through shadows and valleys, through shifting sands. The roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastian? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains. You deserve better. Oh, you deserve better. And your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang through heartache and pain.
Well, hello, my friends. Happy October the 1st. It is spooky season, y'all. Hope everybody's doing good. Welcome, welcome. Thank you all for being here. Hello, Blue Eyes. Hello, Daisy. Hey, me and you. And Lori. Hey, Miss Rhonda. Let's see who else. Charlene, hello. Kimberly, hello to you. Let's see who else we got in here with us today. Hey, Kai, how you doing? I hope I pronounced your name right. Let's see. Lisa King, hello. And GA64, hello there. So good to have all my friends here. Hey, Cinderella. Well, hello, Bliss Blessings. How are you? Jen in Georgia. Hello there. TJ, good to have you back. She's still a little puny, but she's with us today. Thank you, TJ, and prayers to you. Hello, Patty. So good to have all y'all. Charlene Atkins, hello. Teresa, hey, Dawn. And Retha Bell, you be safe while you're driving, girl. Hey, Lady Gracious. Well, good. I'm glad you came back and joined us. I know. Blessings. I'm so sad. My heart is broken. My Astros are eliminated. You know, that's what happens when you have almost half your team on the injured list. But it's okay. We got to give somebody else a chance. It's all good. There's next year, that's for sure. Hey, Holly S. Good to have you. Sheila, did I say hi to you, Sheila? I hope I did. Cheryl. Sassy T, how you doing? I hope I didn't skip over anybody. My phone, I'm trying to read off my phone and it'll jump in chat and it drives me bonkers because then I got to go backwards. Hi, T-Bone. You are welcome. I try to stay between 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, kind of in that time range, and 5 is kind of mid. So I try every day to be the same. Don't always work out, but I try it. Hey, little Miss Sharon. Margaret, hello. Trying to be perky, I tell you. Drama, drama, drama out on the YouTube streets already. But it's all good. Hey, Jacqueline. Good to have you. Michelle. Wild Wolf. Always good to have you with us. Did I get everybody? I think. Oh, there's Chuchi. Hi there. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Anybody else sneak in here? All right, guys, I think we did it. All right, gotcha. Thanks for that. So, guys, today we're going to talk about a few things. Our thumbnail today says it's all about Sebastian, all about him. But along the way, many people seem to forget that point. And in order for us to be all about Sebastian, we have to be able to have all the correct information. Today we're going to hang out and talk and listen to a couple of things. Yes, I will, Jen. I will definitely do that. Oh, good for you, Wild Wolf. Good deal. She's going to get her some more flowers made and go put them out. Bless him, little Sebastian. I call him little, but he's a baby, still a baby. My 36-year-old son is still my baby. Even his daughters say, "Okay, Lolly's baby, we hear you." these kids, bless them, man, they just don't seem to have a lot on their side. I've said it before and I'll say it again. From everything we're learning, it seems as if Sebastian didn't have a lot on his side in his home there with his mother and his stepfather. There was a lot of friction, a lot of things happening, a lot of things that I don't even think we're privy to or have knowledge of. Before we get started too much into all of this, I want to share a couple of things with you. And one of these, and me, I don't do and share a lot of psychics on here, but this one was very intriguing. Kiki True Crime sent this one to me. And so I'm going to put this full screen. And this is Helga the Psychic. She's going to talk about Sebastian here. And it was very interesting to me. So let's listen to what she has to say and we'll get going here. I know, right? Pervy.
Sensitive topic, trigger warning, and remember, all cases and information are alleged. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Sebastian Rogers' case for a few minutes now. It's been a really long time since I've picked up anything new about this case. I have looked back at it probably double digits, and it just kept being nothing. When I look into a missing person case that I've received any information on, what I do is I go back to the last thing that I received, the last thing that I saw about it, and I start from there. Now, here is what I'm seeing now because I have received something new. I will try to describe this to the best of my ability. I feel like this location is at a higher elevation. Now, I don't know how much higher, but I feel you would have to drive up, like whether it's a larger hill, not necessarily saying a mountain, but something. This location feels at a higher elevation. There is a huge clearing. I'm not sure of the size, but it's very, very large. The ground, the way it appears, has little to no vegetation. It just looks like very light colored dirt, possibly some gravel. Yet it is surrounded by trees and shrubs. There's basically like a tree line going all the way around it. Now, what's new about this too is that I am seeing a truck with a lone male in it. This truck looks like a small pickup truck, and it appears that it is a darker color. It has one of those grills or grates on the back of it, like behind the cab, where you could attach tools have a toolbox in the back, things of that nature. There is a lone male. There is a lone male, and I feel that he comes to this location about once a month to make sure that everything is not disturbed. Now I'm picking up on there might be something like a backpack. Like I feel there are several items hidden at this location, hidden or partially buried or buried fully. This person is very meticulous about checking for rocks being in the same location, footprints, any sign of there being anyone there. Again, this feels like it's something at a higher elevation. I don't know if it's exactly a proper road. If there is a road, it's like one of those roads, I think, that's been sort of naturally, worn in over time. This location feels very isolated and very secluded. And it's really rare that anybody goes here. It feels very, very, call it off the beaten path. This person, I could see them even taking photos to make sure, because they touch nothing. They touch nothing that's hidden there. They are simply maintaining and watching to ensure that there is no evidence of anybody coming around there, finding anything. And they're very careful to erase any prints or anything that they may have left in coming there. They try to leave it so that it appears that no one has been there. So again, this is something new. What looks to be dark, quite fairly dark colored, small pickup truck that is a work truck that has one of those grills on the back, one of those grates where you can attach things or tools if you have a job that would require such. So it's like somebody's little work truck. And there is a lone male. It's hard to tell. It looks dressed all in dark, wearing a ball cap, all like in darker looking clothes, and makes infrequent but regular visits to ensure that nothing there is disturbed. As I said, I'm feeling like there's a backpack and other items, like there's a bunch of things. So, and I feel that some of this is evidence, some of this has to do with the case. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
All right. Well, that was very interesting to me. And the things that she described there, let me go back over here. Let me go up a little bit because I'm going to share with you a place that seemed almost kind of what she was talking about. The construction site. Trees surrounding the whole area. Light colored. The dirt. So, don't know. I just thought I would share that with you guys and leave that for you to decipher and make of it what you think. Her name is Helga the Psychic. And hey, Kelly, she is over on TikTok. So, I don't know what's happening with StreamYard. My background shows it's on, but we don't see it. It's spooky season. I was trying to get us a really cool background, but it is not showing up. Anyways, you're just going to have to look at my ugly old face here. Okay, so we did that. Now I have some other things that happened last night I wanted to share with y'all. as well. So if you would hold on, let me X off of YouTube. Don't want no echoing. Let me get my volume turned all the way up. Let me go to this. This is a short clip, but I want you to listen to Mr. Chris's words very carefully. Okay? Listen very close to what he says.
Convention. So, I mean, I'm not speaking for Chris and Katie, but just from what I saw, like, that's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'll explain the reptile picture real quick. For anybody who doesn't remember, Sebastian was very interested into reptiles. He had snakes. He had things like that. He's got geckos.
Okay. Did you hear that? Sebastian was very interested in reptiles. He had snakes. He had things like that. He has geckos. Let's listen close to that again, okay? Put on your ears, put in your earbuds. I can't get it any louder than this. But let's listen again.
Convention. So, I mean, I'm not speaking for Chris and Katie, but just from what I saw, like, that's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'll explain the reptile picture real quick. For anybody who doesn't remember, Sebastian was very interested into reptiles. He had snakes. He had things like that. He's got geckos. So if we choose to go to...
He's got geckos. He's got geckos. Not had geckos, but he's got them. So is that Mr. Chris's way of saying wherever Sebastian is, he has geckos? Yes, bliss blessings. Leakage at its finest. Leakage at its finest. Right there, folks. He had snakes and reptiles, and he's got geckos. From what we've been told, there's nothing left of Sebastian's in that house, but yet he's got geckos. He didn't have them. He's got them. I thought that was a very, very interesting little piece that you guys would like to hear about. Hey, Damaris, how you doing? Hey, Pebbles. Hey, everybody coming in. Welcome, and thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to play this one more time for anyone who wants to hear it again. Like I said, listen close. He talks about Sebastian. He had reptiles, but he's got geckos.
Convention. So, I mean, I'm not speaking for Chris and Katie, but just from what I saw, like, that's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'll explain the reptile picture real quick. For anybody who doesn't remember, Sebastian was very interested into reptiles. He had snakes. He had things like that. He's got geckos. So if we choose to...
And then he goes on to say, if we choose to go somewhere that gets us closer to him, so be it. But hey, guys, Sebastian's got geckos. You know, speaking of Mr. Chris, speaking of which, I'm going to play something for you guys on that same live. It was very interesting to me when I heard what he said a little later. Listen very closely because it's quite unbelievable.
Convention. So I mean, I'm not speaking for Chris and Katie, but just from what I
Oops,
saw,
wait,
like
I got the wrong one. Hold on, got to get the other one. That was the same exact one. Right. Got it all kinds of jumbled up. Hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. Let me see here. Okay. Here we go. Let me pull. Uh,
So what's been going on? You guys back? You guys both back to work then, or I mean, what's you guys? That's what I was thinking. Trying to get stuff together. I mean, what's going on? We just try to live life day by day. It's got to be tough. I mean, it's got to be tough. I got a serious question. The longer this goes on, do you guys, does it make you have more anxiety, or I mean, is there anything going on that you guys have heard anything about? I mean, the FBI put out a statement not too long ago. I mean, that's the most current and up to date information. Pretty much just where it's at, huh?
did y'all hear him say the FBI put out an update and it's the most current and up to date information we have? The most current and up to date information we have of a 15-year-old boy that ran away. How current is that? That was him a year before he went missing. How current and up to date is it when it's all the same thing they've told us before? Nothing about that other than one single piece was worth anything in the FBI update. Remember, they called him a 15-year-old boy. I mean, a 14-year-old boy. Okay? First line on February 26, 2024, Katie Proudfoot went to wake up her 14-year-old son for school. How current is that? He was 15 then, he is now 16. Guys, I honestly believe this was put out between Bobby Simmons and Eric Craddock with the mess that they speak about in here. But yet, you know, it because it talks here about she heard a loud bang coming from Sebastian's room, so she yelled out to him and asked if he was okay, to which he responded that he was, said Detective Brandon Carter. With the Sheriff County, the Sumner Sheriff County. Lord help it. Then, as it goes on and on, same thing, search teams, all the things, you know, how many square acres that they searched, everything that we already knew. Talked about the being, you know, found in water and the percentage of autistic kids. We already knew all that. You know, all the things that we've talked about repeatedly, and the very last that we heard from them on April of 2024 was put into this update. You know, it was quite interesting to me when in this article it mentions how the Superior Court had requested more information on the CPS cases about Sebastian. That was it. That was the newest. That was the newest thing that we have heard, but the rest of it was blah, 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 blah. But that's the most up to date that we got. Let's see. What was that? Margaret. Not sure. Cannot verify any of that. But to Mr. Chris, FBI put out an update. It's the most up-to-date information we have. Well, guess what, Chris? He was a whole year older when he disappeared. That is not up-to-date information. It's crazy to me how the other side takes anything like that and just runs with it. Later on, the woman that was talking, not QB, by the way, that was off of QB's panel last night. And if one of the mods will go ahead and just drop that in chat for us. But one of the ladies on panel, that she was the one that stated, I just don't understand. I mean, it gets really boring after a certain time, because, okay, thanks, TJ. She says, because going back and playing old videos, I mean, come on, we've already heard it. Her words, guys, how boring to go back and listen to old videos. Well, I will say this in reply to the words she said last night. TJ, thank you. Just so we're safe. But the words that she said last night, how boring. When you were talking about a missing young man, nothing about it should ever be boring, or you should actually move on to another genre. Thank you, TJ. I should have known it. You got my back, girl. But to hear those words, and then a guy follows up with, the true crime, it's not about true crime anymore. Well, yeah, for some of us, it is. There are those of us left that still keep our channel about Sebastian, about his case. We're not playing games. We're not throwing crap out towards anyone else. We're listening. We're hearing things that we didn't hear the first time. First time you listen to everything, you're listening with more emotions than anything. You're paying attention to their reactions. But every time you go back and you re-listen, there's nothing boring, because you're always going to find something new. We listened to Seth's interview that he had with Tony and Josh over the last couple of lives that we've done. And guys, there was so much we learned out of it. We had all seen it when it first went live, but there is so much out of that we got. More pieces to this puzzle. There also was, when I played Duchess, the very first interview, and we listened to it, I had heard it multiple times, probably up into the double digits. But guys, it wasn't until this last time we went over it, I realized something that I've seen every creator overlook. And that is, Katie told us in the first 3 minutes, she was on the phone with her husband and she fell asleep. It was just around 10 p.m. that night. And Mr. Chris comes in to make things crystal clear, where he tells us they were on a lengthy phone call and the mom started to fall asleep. And that was around midnight. We never, from the very first time we heard them talk, have a clear timeline of the night before. The most crucial hours of Sebastian Rogers' life, in my opinion. We have never had a base timeline. They couldn't even get it right the first time they spoke. And all these times of listening throughout this 19 months, it just got overlooked. And that is the reason we have to go back. It's not boring to go back, because when you go back, you start seeing things and hearing things, and it connects all these pieces together. Guys, we have never had a set timeline. From there, her story changed every time she talked. There's never been a set timeline. Katie set the timeline that she fell asleep on the couch at 10, but Mr. Chris came back in over the top of her and he corrected that till midnight. But he wasn't there, right? But that's how a lot of people view that, to go back and to re-listen and to find these little tiny pieces. It's boring. If you're getting bored in a live stream about a missing child, I suggest you change your genre and move on, because there's no place for boredom when a child is missing. It takes us digesting every single word all three parents say. So be it. If it helps in any way whatsoever, so be it. Because that's what it's going to take, guys. Yes. Yes, Brenda. Yes, he went on panel last night. I could only stomach a little bit of it because it is stroke their ego up and down, and I cannot go there. I can't sit on panel with a man who is the stepfather of a missing child, and he's going to tell everybody the FBI put out an update and that's the most current information we have, when it was wrong about his date, and gave us the same old that we have heard all the way back of April 2024. That wasn't an update. That was blah, 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 blah. Here you go. Here's our update. So, no, I'm not going to sit on panel with someone like that. I'm not going to stroke an ego of anyone just to get them on panel with me. I'll stick over here on my little bitty channel with all of these great people listening, and we'll talk about what really matters. But unfortunately, sometimes you got to take one for the team and listen to what he says, because it's times like that that you learn that Sebastian had snakes and he had reptiles and he's got geckos. He's got geckos now because he had the snakes, but he's got geckos now. Where are they at? Because his room is empty, is what I understand. You know, that kind of thing. He's got geckos, but they're just going to take whatever he says. They want him on panel because that brings them more money. You know, that's how they play. They're not here for Sebastian. They were here for Sebastian, they would be asking those hard questions. But if they ask the hard questions, then again, Mr. Chris probably wouldn't be playing with them, would he? Because he doesn't play with people who ask the hard questions. And KK, she just don't. She just don't. Because she took the fifth, remember? She didn't want to get herself in trouble. So she pleaded the fifth so that her lawyer can protect her when she screws up her timeline for what, the sixth time in a row? No, he tortures animals, in my opinion. You know, it's something where I tell myself all the time, you know, take it easy on them, ease up a little bit. I will say this. I'm going to call it for like I see it. Hey, Runs with Scissors. Good to have you. But I'm going to call it out for what I see and what I hear. I'm going to ask the questions. I'm throwing it out here. I'm not making any of you believe anything that I believe. We're on here every day together. I believe Sebastian could possibly no longer be with us. A lot of y'all are holding on to hope that he is still out there somewhere alive and well. I pray I'm wrong. And yet, because y'all believe that, it's like, are we supposed to not be in the same room together? No, we're adults. We get to do that. And we do it well. And I'm so proud to have all of y'all here with us. I really wish he was. I pray he is okay. My gut tells me I'm afraid of the worst as well. You know, for Seth, I would love for Sebastian to be fine, healthy, taken care of all these last 19 months. He never had to be out in the woods anywhere barefooted. Yes, Charlene, that was brought up in that conversation about the picture from them being there at that reptile convention. And he said he would clear it up real clear. And that's when he spoke about it. It brings them closer to Sebastian to be there. So does that mean Sebastian is somewhere close to that reptile place? Were they buying gecko food there? What was it? Or were they there for themselves? Okay, I will look at that, me and you. She said, I wrote something for Sebastian. She sent it to me. So let me pull that up and I will definitely read that. Let's see. Did you send it? Did you email it to me? Me and you? Here it is. Found it. She says, Sebastian, where did you go? A missing child, a seed unsown, February's chill, a bitter blow, a father's heart, utterly alone. The 25th day, a day of dread. Since then, just silence, fear and pain, whispers of secrets left unsaid, a broken trust, a life profaned. His mother's eyes, a vacant stare, the stepfather's words, a hollow sound. A web of lies hangs in the air, while truth lies buried in the ground. We miss his smile, his joyful call, a vibrant spirit lost from sight. They watch him fade and let him fall, ignoring darkness, void of light. The search goes on, a desperate plea to bring him home, to end the plight. Sebastian, come back to me and fill our world with warmth and light. Me and you, that is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Oh man, that is amazing. If you're okay, I'm going to put that in a post for everyone to read. I will, if that's okay with you. There are so many people that care about Sebastian. And like I said, listening to Lady Freedom's the other night with Chris McDonough and Mr. Johnson, the words they were talking and the words they were saying was just huge. And it kept echoing in my head over and over and over. They're talking about how they feel, but they never talk about how Sebastian must feel. They never talk about how Sebastian must feel. As a mama, you would think Katie would be terrified that he's out there with no shoes, no jacket. It's getting below temperatures, down into the freezing. He don't even have a blanket. Did he find something to eat? You know, those things. Did he find a good place so that he can snuggle up inside and be warm? You're right, Holly. She says, and I don't recall them being worried. Not one bit. Not at all. You just don't get that. But then you listen to his dad. I know, right, Sandy? Us mamas with grown men for children's. We're all worried about our babies, and they're grown. My son will go on a work trip, and I'll tell him, text me when you land. Let us know you're safe. And he'll say, landed, Mama. Love you. To this day, he's grown, he's married, he has his own family. That's how us mamas do, though, you know? And we see none of that from Katie. So, what does that tell us? It's the question. What does that say to you? Does it say that she knows his location and he's taken care of and he's okay? Or does that say to you that's because she's a cold, hard biatch and knows her son is no longer alive and she had to shut that feeling off? Because that's where I'm confused. That's where I'm conflicted. Pebbles, I, it's sad to say, but I think you're right. Ding the phone. There you go. No need to answer. Yep. Oh, yes. That's great. I love that one. Yes. I remember my granny saying the same thing. Yes, Sandy. Katie slipped up and said, when I woke him up, he wasn't there. So, Seclusion says there's a theory I heard: the souls of those who committed the greatest evil have returned. Wow. I believe he fought back as much as he possibly could. And guys, we've looked at these pictures. I know a lot of y'all had a hard time with seeing anything at all. Like I said, I studied them, looked at them. There were things I saw that they're like, no, 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 that's not what you need to look at. Look over here, because there's so many layers to it. And as I'm starting to learn more and more about these pictures, this is how I now look at whatever it was that happened to Sebastian. There was an awful lot of people. We've counted up to 7 at one time in one place. You see their figures, their outlines, their heights at different levels. What is the purpose of having that many people that busy that night if you're just going to put your son in a car and have him taken away somewhere safe? Why go to the level of jamming cameras in the neighborhood, all the smoke that got put out? You clearly see the smoke canisters. Yes, I'm telling you, Bliss Blessings, I have seen some that just, it just makes, it breaks your heart. Because to think that there had to be that many people parked somewhere else and make that trek to the back of that neighborhood, back of that yard area, to sneak in without being seen on camera, go under the fog that's being put out there, all to just let one person stand there with a flashlight and another person walk to them so they can go to the car and one go back to the home. All of that. We see what looks like a mattress being carried out. We see what looks like a body being hauled. There's a body that looks like it's draped over some kind of rod, and that person has got that rod on their shoulders to carry it. Why go to all of that effort? Yes, me and you. Yes. Why go to that much effort just to put him in a car and have him driven away? She could have left him, stopped somewhere along the way on the way home, and let him get into another car and they take him off right then. Why did she have to wait until the middle of the night? And when I stop and think about the why, the only question I can come up with is because things were done that should never come to light in their minds. Was that child tortured? Did they physically and mentally torture him? That's my question. Holly S., I'm afraid. Oh, let me go up one. There we go. I'm afraid you're probably more than correct than you could ever imagine. She said, this place may be more corrupt than we ever imagined. And the corruption, I'm afraid, runs so deep. So deep. Think about how much they got away with when Nina told us her story. When Nina told us everything they did to her behind her back to in that process of getting that little baby taken away from its mother while she was still nursing that baby. They didn't care about that baby. Possession is what they care about. They didn't care that she was nursing. They never asked that mother to pump and bring them bottles. No, you get out of here, go. A baseball bat was used at the door when her and her other two children went to find out what the hell is going on. Yes, Holly, and police seemed to participate in the extra BS when she was finally given her daughter. They wouldn't even let her in the door. Exactly, Melissa. Throwing shade on Sebastian. What intent? What the hell is that about? What he had done? How about what another child had done to him? How about that? How about what Mr. Chris did to his sisters? How about that? If we're going to call it, let's call it all out, right? Yeah, once she got inside finally, because it took them a while, they had the doors locked. Wouldn't let her and her three babies, 3 young kids, One was a baby. Wouldn't let them in the door of the police station, folks. And they sat there and laughed at her and taunted her. They gave her a dirty bottle. The baby's diaper needed to be changed. That's how she got her child back. That's how much they cared about that baby. It wasn't about the baby. It was about possession to them. Yes. And also his ex-wife, Rachel. Remember, there was a hammer involved in that situation, and she was left in a bloody pool of her own blood. Oh, but her and his mommy are good friends now. Just like he has a great relationship with his daughter's mother, right? That good? Yes, there is a carry they learn in the military. It's called fireman's. You carry and you carry them by putting them over your shoulders. Yes. I wish Rachel could be talked about. I wish we knew more, had her story. I wished his ex-wives weren't so damn scared of that family. All of this, all these things, and his mommy got him out of trouble even when he was a grown ass man. You know? Yeah. How does he get everything sealed? Because of his buddies. He got people in the right places. He had the CPS documents sealed. You know that? Chris had to get a lawyer to get them unsealed so he could get a copy of them. They had them sealed because they hid it from everybody and wanted those to stay sealed. But you see, when things are done the right way, it can all be undone. That's the point here. Oh, Kelly, you're good. You're good. You might go back and listen to a little bit of the first of it. And we've just been talking. Everybody's been putting their thoughts in chat. So Seth did get them unsealed. I believe that runs with scissors. The Bowerstocks have a plan when things go down. KP will be put under the bus 100%, just like they did to Nina. The punishment has to fit the crime, right? Exactly, Melissa. I hope those words echo in his head when all this goes down, when everything falls apart. I'm wondering the same, Bubble Beth. They have their hooks in the TBI pretty harsh. Okay, Kelly says you never heard what something that CP did with his sisters. I have looked. TJ, do you happen to have that? I have been looking and I cannot find that. I was wanting to put it up here. His half brother, Terry Bowerstocks Jr., left the family, wants nothing to do with them at all. And after Sebastian went missing, he made a post on Facebook, a public platform, and said something to the fact that they need to look at Christopher Proudfoot. You know, that his mommy protects him. He said the things he did to my sisters, one was his real sister, I believe, and the other one, okay, Sassy T, I'll definitely check that out for sure. But the other one is his half sister. And his mother had it expunged from his records, taken completely off, wiped away. No one can see it. And that is the time where he left. Wanted nothing to do with them. So, yeah. There's that. I will definitely find that. I will put it out. I will show it to you as soon as I can find it. I've been looking, but those were what the words of Terry Bowersox Jr. Holly, maybe she's doing this so that he'll keep buying her jewelry when they go on their vacations. Come on, Holly, silly girl. That's Jen, you are right. Everyone is innocent until proven in a court of law. She is the real mind behind this. I believe that, Sandy. And okay, Sassy, if you want to email that to me, that'd be great. Or you can send them to Jen or however, and she can get them to me. But yes, definitely. I've got it. I just can't find it. Just can't find it right now. But I do have it somewhere. Y'all wouldn't believe how many things I've got pertaining to Sebastian. Right, Bubble Beth? She loves her jewelry. She a jewelry kind of girl. My question is, does her husband not buy her jewelry? Shouldn't the husbands buy their wives' jewelry, not the son buy his mommy jewelry? Is one of CP's ex live in Texas? Really? I wish I knew that. Don't have the answer to that. I'm not sure. But I could sure go on a road trip. A little suspicion between mommy and son. It's gross. Yeah, but you know, those things do happen. Even with mothers. They were obnoxious talking about that in front of Seth. But I believe everything was intentional. It was all done. Holly's like, road trip. I'll pick Holly up and we'll head our way out and drive across Texas till we find her. Oh, girl. But yeah, if you stop and you think, Everything has been intentionally done to Seth. And the timing all goes back to the Proudfoots and the Bowersocks. Just like when they laugh in court, same behavior. That's right. Think about it. I was going over Seth's live at the very beginning, talking about that first day. And boom, right between my eyes, it hit me. Oh my God. And I went back and I re listened and I'm like, oh shit. Seth was there for hours, in and out of that house, driving around looking for a son, going back over there, talking to him. Any updates? No, nothing. No. Mr. Chris gets home. Hey, Mr. Rogers, what route do you take to go home? Can we follow you home and go search your house and destroy Sebastian's room? We haven't done that here, but we want to go to your house and do it. How do we know you didn't pay somebody to take him? All of it happened after Mr. Chris got there. Nothing took place against Seth or pertaining to Seth or any side-eyeing Seth until Chris got there. Seclusion, I think you're right. Mr. Chris might have some mommy issues. Him loves his mommy. But you think of it, everything's done. An employee listed on a legal document that you can find out while you're pulling all the things up on Kathy Bowersocks. She has paid money as an employee to Texana. That psychotic person that went to the vigil was asked to put her phone down and do not live stream, and she wouldn't stop. They asked her to leave, and she wouldn't stop. They ended the vigil just to avoid it all. They go to a restaurant to sit and relax and try to decompress. After the vigil for Sebastian, she walks in, she causes a ruckus, and the owners made her leave. Yes, Sandy. She is now suing Seth. But don't forget, she was on the payroll at one time or another, and she sat behind them in the courtrooms. She came into the courtroom one time, whispered into Kathy Bowersock's ear, Kathy Bowersocks, and Mr. Chris got up and walked out during one of the court proceedings. No, we do not bliss blessings, do we? Mm-mm. We don't. No, we don't play well with idiots. Oh, I hadn't seen the picture. Seclusion. I hadn't seen that. He did put some stuff out there, though, for sure. Yeah. I've been told that, Margaret. I've been told things of Sebastian in his room are out, all gone. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sassy. Appreciate that so much. Mm. Okay. Gotcha. Here's a post, and I'm just going to read this because there's a lot of stuff on here. It Estranged son of Terry Bowersox Sr. thinks Chris Proudfoot had something to do with Sebastian Rogers being taken. A post, Terry Bowersox. This is Junior. Most likely the stepdad had something to do with it. He's a piece of trash and very capable of hurting young children. There is another one of him that I've got somewhere where he talks about the sisters. Yes, and that's why I believe they got an Airbnb. Someone told me it was an Airbnb they rented, which in fact is owned by their family, the real estate thing and all. And they did America's Most Wanted from that home. Hey, SI officer, how you doing? So, yep, did not let America's Most Wanted come into their home. I honestly believe I've got it. And when I get it, I will put it out. Y'all be looking. And I'll definitely find it. Yeah, the Airbnb that they did the whole interview from America's Most Wanted in their little fake kitchen there with the crane and all the little things. Because they're perfect parents that can't tell the same story twice. At all. Can't do it. So, yeah. When you stop and think about it, so much of this is done intentionally. America's Most Wanted came into Seth's home. They wanted to see Sebastian's room. Seth allowed it. They went in there. They looked. They looked all around. Katie and Chris didn't want that to happen. I believe by that point. Bubble Beth, I honestly believe that had a lot to do with her family being threatened, is what I would guess. Just a guess, It's really sad that we have to sit here. Yeah, that's the thing, Sassy. You can't depend on their records or anything because we already know Mommy has had things cleaned up quite a bit. I mean, when Mr. Chris takes a hammer to his ex-wife's head and he never served time. Come on. Look what they did to Bullhorn Betty, and all she was doing was putting up flyers. It's just crazy. Look what they did to Nina. How far they got away with all of that. All these years. You would think a judge would finally end an 8-year or 7-year custody battle. When the stepdad is told to take anger management classes repeatedly, or the real father of the little girl is told, take anger management classes repeatedly, there's a problem. How many chances are you going to give these people? How many chances? Yes, I agree, Daisy. I agree. Yeah, he took 4 of those classes. And he's angry because he didn't never get a certificate. Come on now. The judge needs to say enough is enough. Put an end to it. Let that little girl live her life. Just accept the fact that you're not getting your grubby paws on her any more than your visitation is allowing. You know, I mean, but folks, remember, this isn't about the children. That's the problem. It's not about Sebastian. It's not about his daughter. It's about what they can control and how deep and dark they can go. This is all about them. Silly us, we're over here talking about Sebastian, of all things. We've asked more concerning questions about Sebastian than his mother or stepdad ever has in any interview they've ever done. Oh, Holly, that would be amazing if she could. I mean, you want to talk anger issues? Look how he talked about Brittany J, a YouTube content creator that talked about his stepson. She didn't talk about him every single day like we do over here. She talked about all kinds of stuff. But his friends didn't like her. And he felt so enraged that he told that woman she could start a shotgun. And yet he's the one he's saying, I wrote their both parenting plans, right? Hello? No wonder things aren't working well there. You know, come on already. This is not about Katie and Chris. I can't say it enough, over and over and over. It's not about them. It's not about stroking their egos and making them feel good. It's not about stroking Seth's ego and making him feel good. It's about the goddamn truth. And the truth is, Sebastian is the one that is missing. And he is still considered a child. He does have autism. He has his triggers. That's the truth. Hey, Terry. That's what we're here for. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing, well, the FBI put out a statement and, that's the most updated information we got. Are you serious? Did you read it? Did you read it, Mr. Chris? Because he was not 14 when he went missing. And we never met the child. You can't tell me that's the most updated information we've gotten. There was no update to it. It's the same words we've heard at the last press conference, April of 2024. Nothing updated. And to have another person on the same panel, well, things get so boring when you go back and listen to things over and over. Is it boring to try to figure out to these people what might have happened to Sebastian? Is that boring to you? I'm sorry. Don't listen. Loud and clear. Don't listen to us. Go on with your drama-filled, enticing hate. And stroke the ego of the man that wasn't there that night, who was sitting in the crane at 6:00 in the morning when he got that call. Y'all, come on. Stroke that ego a little harder. Let him talk. Let them talk all they want to, because the more they talk, the more we, boring over here, learn. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to y'all? Right. Holly, I can't. I just can't play with stupid people. I don't play well with stupid people. I really don't. And it was a whole lot of stupid over there. Okay, Sandy, thank you. It's crazy how they look at things. And all we're doing is trying to figure out what could have happened to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers when he was 15 years old and was no longer in his home. What happened? There's one person without a shadow of a doubt that knows, because she was locked in that home that morning all by herself. All by herself. Yeah, that's the thing, Bubble Beth. There's those shows that you can go on to, and you can give stipulations what you will or will not talk about. And I am more than positive that Katie's lawyer said, we will talk about this, this, and this, and that's all. And they left it at that because she is the mother. But if you recall on America's Most Wanted, it was Seth that spoke, and several of them on that panel said, "Oh, that dad just breaks my heart. My heart breaks for him." Didn't say that about the mother. They said that about the father. Because Katie and Chris have a script they go by, and that's it. Her lawyer's in the room. He was there on the 1 year mark. He told them what she would and would not say, and she even effed that up. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. He would have. And then she stops and looks up to the heavens and says, he turned 16. Katie, you done already messed it up. You should have just ended that interview and say, nope, I'm done. I'm leaving. You'd have been better off, sister. You really would have. It would have been way better for you to not speak than say the words that you said that day. Because words are huge. Yeah, everything Seth did, Katie got credit for. I agree with that. Yep. You know, I will say this. I have been watching Rich and Ruby. He's been there. He's talked to lots of locals, a lot of locals. And he has said time and time and time again, those parents are guilty. The people that live there know it. They know they've done something wrong, something bad to Sebastian. And they know law enforcement is not going to do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Because they live there, they see it, but they're not going to do anything or make a fuss over it because they're scared of that family. That's how deep it goes. Sorry, I had to yawn. I know. I agree. How do people sleep? How do they sleep knowing it? Knowing that one day it could be their kid. They might piss them off one day and it might come back on them. I mean, what if they cut them off in traffic, just a little too quickly? Is their kid going to come up missing? But, people know. People in that neighborhood, people in the very neighborhood that they live in, say they would never be surprised to find out they did something to him. Folks, I was at a ball game when my kids were little. My daughter was playing, and there's a girl on her team, and her mother spoke to her like, I don't even speak to my dog as hateful as this woman was speaking to her daughter in public. When my dog was a puppy and we're training and I would get frustrated and she's chewing up this or that or had an accident on the floor or something. I never talked to my dog like this. Never, ever. This woman felt entitled to talk to her daughter on the field that way if her daughter missed the ball. I want y'all to remember they were 8 years old. And one day, she stood up, got at that fence, and told that young girl, "You are going to get a beating when you get home if you don't start catching the ball." I stood up. I had had enough. I told that mother, maybe it's time for you to leave the ballpark and not touch your child when she gets home. She turned around. She said, "That's my child." And I said, "And that's a police officer right over there. Would you like for him to handle it? You need to leave. I will drop your daughter off when we get through with this ball game." And I want you to know both stands of each team stood up and clapped until that woman was off of that field. I told the officer what happened, and he told me he would follow me to her house and have a conversation with her. Her daughter was dropped off at the field after that. Her mother sat in the car. I didn't want to do it to embarrass that little girl. And every time she made a good play, both sides made a point to call her name out because we're from a small town. We all know the kids on every team. And she got the encouragement she needed to make herself feel good. There were 2 people walked up to her after the game and had a snow cone waiting for her. There were people the rest of that season that bought that child a snow cone after every game she did. The school was notified to keep a very close eye on her should she ever have a mark on her. That little girl grew up to be an amazing young woman. And I got to watch her grow and graduate. And over the years, her grandmother started attending more and more things, and her mother faded out of sight. Guys, I'm not telling y'all that so that I look good. I'm telling you that because there's times in this world where an adult needs to stand up and say enough. These children deserve better. These kids in this world need to have someone around them to stand up and say, "Okay, no, we're not going to sit here and watch this no more." And give that kid some encouragement. Because the stories I heard about this mother and how she treated her daughter was not good. Not good at all. But once her mother got called out and everybody stood up and backed me for doing that, because I thought, oh my God, I've opened my mouth where I shouldn't have or something. Everybody encouraged that young lady, that little girl at that time, all the way up until her graduation. And the night of project graduation, she came up to me and gave me the biggest hug and said, "I just want you to know I love you." She was leaving to go to college. after they graduated, because she had people to stand up for her. Who stood up for Sebastian around there? If they knew how bad these people were, and they knew Sebastian was not home at times because he went to his father's, why did no one ever stand up for him? I'm Too Honest. Thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you. I love you so much. Thank you for being so kind and generous. And if you were gifted, please tell I'm Too Honest for this. Thank you, because that was super gracious of her. And to our new members, welcome to the South, y'all.
Welcome. Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff down. We got enough to go around. So can I get a name and welcome to the South.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you. I'm Too Honest. Super duper sweet of you. So you see, guys, while other people think it's boring, someone needs to stand up for these kids. I have no problem standing up for Sebastian. I will stand up for any child that needs me. And there was a time where I put out a possible theory, and it pertained to a guy that was wearing a yellow jacket at Texas Roadhouse. I talked about the possibility of Sebastian maybe could be in one of those homes that he was a board member at. And of course, there's people who say this never happened. But folks, because I took a stand and said, hey, is this possible? Let me tell you what's happening in this kind of home. There is a young man that is starting to get a spark back in his eyes these days, because he was let out of one of those homes. Because someone heard my live and what I had to say about what they're doing to these kids. We made a difference, guys. We can do it again. I guess I'm just trying to give everybody a pep talk because we're so boring over here. Love you, Miss Rhonda. We're so boring because we go back and we re-listen to everything. But guys, whatever we have to do to stand up for Sebastian, we're going to do it. He's not here to tell us story. We're taking every tiny piece that his mother or stepfather or his father puts out, and we're connecting the puzzle one piece at a time. And you guys are part of that. If Sebastian's own mother won't stand up and tell the truth, not give her timeline and allow her husband to come in and overstep and correct it, but to tell the God's honest truth, because I'm here to tell you folks, the truth will set you free. in your soul. She may have some consequences, but Sebastian would be free to tell his story. The sad part is, I'm afraid that's exactly what they don't want. Because no matter where he is, oh, that was said on QB's panel last night, right before Mr. Chris said that Sebastian has got geckos. He had snakes and reptiles, but he's got geckos. And the lady went on to talk about how boring we are for looking at old lives over and over again. That's just boring. Guess what? We're going to be as boring as we need to be until that young man will be able to tell his own story. And like I say, I'm afraid that's what they do not want. No matter whether he is alive or no longer alive, he will tell his story. No, he said, Sebastian, here, I'll play it again for y'all so y'all can all hear it good. Let me pull it back up. He said, let me pull it this way. Here we go. Let's. Hang tight. I got to get it. I got so much here. Okay, here we go. Get ready, guys. Y'all listen up.
Convention. So, I mean, I'm not speaking for Kirsten Katie, but just from what I saw, like, that's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'll explain the reptile picture real quick. For anybody who doesn't remember, Sebastian was very interested into reptiles. He had snakes. He had things like that. He's got geckos.
Did you hear that? He had snakes. He had things like that, and he's got geckos. Not had, not used to have, but he's got geckos. Yeah, it gave him away a little bit, I think. So wherever Sebastian's at, he has got geckos. That was Mr. Chris talking. He said that last night. I screen recorded that real quick. Real quick. He has got geckos. He obtained geckos. Yeah. I just thought it was funny how he said he has had snakes and he's had, been into reptiles and he has got geckos. I don't know. I'll leave it with y'all. Y'all can decipher what you think and all that. But yeah, guys, we're going to be advocates for these kids. We're going to stand up and we're going to talk, and we're going to talk the truth. We're going to tell what we hear with our own ears, see with our own eyes, and talk about possibilities sometimes. Talk about, is it possible, or could it be, or whatever. I don't know, Terry. I know nothing about geckos except for the little Geico gecko. That's about all I know. Yeah, they're not going to stop us. No matter how boring we are, maybe they'll stay away because we ain't got time for all that. Well, guys, I'm going to let y'all get out of here. I just wanted to come on and talk to y'all today, see where y'all's heads were at, your thought process, and encourage y'all. Some people may think it's boring, then, you know, I know. How can he have geckos if he's not around? Yeah, kind of what I was thinking. Like I said, y'all take that for what you need it and see what you think about it. But I hope today was just a little pep talk encouragement to keep pushing. There you go. Look at here. Hey, Chris, Sebastian's army's coming. Are you ready? Are you ready? We coming. I can't I keep clicking on everybody else's. Oh, goodness. Well, guys, y'all be safe out on the streets because it is cray out there. And tomorrow, guess what? We'll be back. We'll be talking about Sebastian some more. So y'all come back and join us tomorrow, okay? But until then, love and hugs to everybody. Good night.